A Boy Grows in Brooklyn by Ernest A. Naples. Chapter 50. Relatively Speaking, Papa's Relatives, and Don Giaco. Narrated by Bruce Naples. Relatively speaking. I hardly ever got to know my relatives, who were all on my father's side. When Mama Santa came to America from her native town in Memphis, Sicily, she left all of her family behind. There was not one person in America who was ever remotely related to her. Scattered throughout Brooklyn and other boroughs, Papa had cousins, nieces, brothers, and in-laws, and many close friends, most of whom had come to America long before he did. His relatives were a close-knit group, most of whom lived near each other. When Papa wanted to see them, it was he that visited them. None of them made any effort to visit us. It was evident that it was only Papa who was welcome in their midst. True, some of Papa's relatives were at the top of their professions. Matilda Interrante was a contralto in the Grand Opera, and her first cousin, Giuseppe Interrante, was a baritone who sang with the San Carlo Opera Company. Michael Interrante was a physician, while John Napoli was a lawyer. However, all of the Interrantes, or for that matter all of Papa's relatives, were not very well to do. One day, my friend Bob and I went to the Paramount Theater to see the new episode of The Perils of Pauline, starring Pearl White. A piano player who was expertly following the action on the screen, playing appropriate music to accompany the storyline. There was an intermission while the cameraman changed reels. The lights went on, and I recognized my cousin, Lena Interrante, who was a piano player. Whatever the reason, Papa made it a rule to have our family live far away from his relatives, although he visited them as often as possible. Papa had two brothers who were exact opposites. Uncle Joe was one of the finest people anyone would want to know. He was gentle and kind, and once he learned the English language, he became an avid reader. He read all of the great classics and haunted the library for good books to read. He was a Napoli, but bore no resemblance to those who scorned us because of our lack of means. An exact opposite was Uncle Saverio, Papa's other brother, who, when we left Brooklyn and moved to Richmond Hill, moved right next door to us. He was an old curmudgeon who never made any attempt to acclimate either himself or his family to the ways of his adopted country. He went out of his way to taunt us and encouraged his children to do the same. To them, the appellation American was a nasty word. People. When Papa became an American citizen, Uncle Severio and moved back to the Italian ghetto in Brooklyn. Papa, as always, took it calmly, for he was a man of peace and a great mediator, who was often sought out by friends and relatives to help resolve their personal problems. He was known as Don Giaco to all who knew and revered him. He and Mama Santa had made up their minds that since America was to be our new country, we would act like Americans. When World War I was declared, two of their sons enlisted in the armed forces, and Sister Margaret joined the Red Cross. In my patriotic zeal, I joined the Boy Scouts and did my duty to God and my country and obeyed the Scout lore. Amen.